The Oklahoma City Thunder have been one of the biggest surprise teams this season, with many expert analysts expecting them to finish well out of the playoff picture before the season started. However, the Thunder have been phenomenal this year, and are now the 5th seed in the West with only 8 regular season games to go, and could go 4th if they start well after this long lockout. The Thunder are one of the most well-rounded teams in the league and are arguably the biggest sleeper team in the West this year. So with the playoffs right around the corner, a lot of NBA fans are getting excited. However, even though the Thunder are an exciting team to look forward to watching in the near future, I want to talk about their long-term future today. There's so many videos about their current team, videos I've made myself, but in today's video, I want to look at the great future the Thunder have set up for themselves recently and why I believe they have the brightest future in the NBA. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before July, so all support would be greatly appreciated. But with that all being said, let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. As I mentioned, the OKC Thunder were one of the most surprising teams this year. After ESPN gave them a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs, the Thunder proved everyone wrong, and they now sit as the 5th seed in the West with a record of 40-24, one game behind the 4th seed Jazz. The Thunder were on a roll just before the season was suspended too, winning 8 of their last 10 games. So, what young players have contributed to their success and allows me to have so much confidence in their future? The main guy is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA broke out this year on OKC after being traded from the Los Angeles Clippers and is now a top candidate for the most improved player. Shai averaged 19.3 points per game this year, 6 rebounds and 3 assists, while shooting 47% from the field and 35% from 3, which are all improvements from last season, particularly his points, which is a jump of 9 per game. Many people thought before the season started that CP3 would maybe hold SGA back a bit and stunt his growth, myself included, but in reality, he has only done positive things for Gilgeous-Alexander so far, and it's been great to see. With this great mentorship and Chris Paul coming out and saying he really took Shai under his wing this season, I think the Thunder are in good hands with SGA's development down the track. And even if Paul is traded or retires soon, I think this season alone has helped turn Gilgeous-Alexander into a perennial all-star level player, thanks in part to Chris Paul. Another younger player on OKC's roster is Dennis Schroder. Schroder has put himself in the conversation as one of the league's most underrated players this year, and also the 6th Man of the Year discussion. He's averaging 19 points and 4 assists on good efficiency off the bench, and has been one of the Thunder's most impactful players this season. With guards like SGA and Chris Paul on the team, I think people start to overlook the production and impact of Dennis Schroder, and how good of a player he actually is. As it stands right now, Schroder is arguably the favourite for 6th Man of the Year, and to me, he is. His great stats, his ability to be efficient in the clutch, and more have all led him to be in contention for this award, and still, his name barely gets a mention when talking about OKC's success, which is unfortunate because at the rate he's at, Schroder may be a perennial all-star for the next few seasons. So those are the players I'm excited to see in the future for Oklahoma. There are other players like Terrence Ferguson, who I personally like a lot, and guys like Darius Bazley, but I would have to see a bit more of them to say they are the future of the Thunder. With that all being said though, these players aren't even the main reason why I'm so excited for the Thunder's future. It's the draft picks. During last off-season, the Thunder made 2 blockbuster trades. One sent Paul George to LA, and the other sent Russell Westbrook to the Houston Rockets. In return for those players, they received some nice pieces, but the main thing they received was a full arsenal of draft picks. How many to be exact? 15 first-round picks that last up until 2026. That's absolutely insane. I'm going to show you an image now that shows you the full crazy collection of picks the Thunder have for the next few seasons. This year, the Thunder have 2 first-round picks, their own and one from Denver that's top 10 protected. In 2021, they have 2 pick swaps with Houston, which both are only top 5 protected. In 2022, they have their own pick and an unprotected first rounder from the Clippers. In 2023, they have their own pick and a lottery protected pick from Miami. In 2024, they have an unprotected pick from LAC again and their own, as well as a top 5 protected pick from Houston. In 2025, they have a pick swap with either Houston or the Clippers, and finally, in 2026, OKC have their own pick, a top 5 protected pick from Houston, and an unprotected first rounder from the Los Angeles Clippers. So, what's so good about getting all these picks from Los Angeles and Houston? Well, both of the Clippers and Rockets are in win now mode, and all of these teams' superstars, aside from Kawhi Leonard, are on the wrong side of 30. Also, unfortunately for the Clippers, as I've gone over before in another video, their superstars in Paul George and Kawhi are only signed on until after next season. So they may lose both of them then, even though they still may be in their prime. Basically, the Clippers and Rockets have aging superstar players, so in a few years, say 2023 onwards, they are more likely than not going to be a lottery team. This is when, of course, the Thunder receive the majority of their picks, which means it's likely OKC will have multiple top 10 picks for the ensuing drafts throughout most of this decade, which is of course only a positive thing and terrible for the potentially rebuilding Houston and Clippers teams. With these draft picks, OKC could draft highly talented players such as Mikey Williams, Emoni Bates, LeBron James Jr., etc. Or they could move them for more star players down the track so they continue to contend into the late 2020s and early 2030s. These trades have literally set up the Thunder so perfectly for the future, as I guarantee the majority of the picks they traded for go top 10 minimum. It's truly such an exciting time for Thunder fans. What they've done recently is really something special. Overall, OKC have fully finessed the NBA in my opinion, and now have by far the brightest future in the league. They have gotten future draft picks off of 2 teams, which they traded their 2 former superstars to, and have still been able to remain competitive, which is amazing. They've become even better than one of those teams, the Rockets, in terms of standings, and could get a home court seed if they play well when the season returns. The Clippers and Rockets are likely to fall down the standings in a few seasons due to the ages of their superstars and current situations, so OKC is basically guaranteed a top 10 pick for most of this decade, and they can still be a top contender whilst they're at it. What OKC has managed to pull off these last couple seasons is insane, and they have truly set themselves up perfectly for the next 10 years or so. This team was surprisingly insane this year, and don't expect the continuous years of playoff runs to end anytime soon. The Thunder are ready to be an elite contender for the rest of the decade, with guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Dennis Schroder likely to stick around. Thanks to some elite moves made by GM Sam Presti last off-season, the Oklahoma City Thunder now have by far the brightest future in the NBA. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? What are your thoughts on OKC and their future? Are there any other NBA teams in your opinion that have a brighter future than them? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.